Hi, everybody, and welcome back to The Stacks. I am your host, Tracy Thomas. We're going to get started in just a moment, but before we do, I'm telling you about all the things we have going on here. First things first, we are doing our Stacks Tote giveaway. For anyone who goes to patreon.com/thestacks and contributes any amount, you are entered to win one of our Stacks totes. They're super cute. You can see them on our Instagram at The Stacks Pod, or you can see them on our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/thestacks. Patreon allows independent creators such as The Stacks to keep their product going, to keep doing what they love doing, to keep making stuff that you enjoy listening to. So if you're in a place where you can contribute, now is an amazing time to do so because you're entered to win one of 3 totes. And also, if I feel like doing more totes, I just might. So if you're able to contribute, we would really, really appreciate it. That's patreon.com/thestacks. We have some new members that I want to give some love to who joined the Stacks Pack this week. Sarah Bernards, Hawa Jola, Jessica Gwynn, and Charlotte Zerna. So thank you all so much for contributing, and everyone else, you have until August 16th to join the fun. Also, I'm going to ask everybody who's listening right now to make sure that you're subscribed to the show wherever you're listening. And if you're listening through Apple Podcasts, please rate and review the show. The reviews go a really long way to helping us get the word out about the Stacks. Our most recent review comes from, I'm going to fuck this up, but I'm going to try, Idleotopia. And they say, this is an amazing podcast that will definitely be culpable for adding to your probably already long list of books to read. Prepare to listen to amazing people passionately discuss books. There's a lot of nonfiction books to discuss here, but be prepared for your love of Shakespeare to be reignited. So yeah, that review is amazing because it's all my favorite things, nonfiction and Shakespeare. Thank you so much for that review. And the rest of you, if you haven't done it yet, we would really, really appreciate a review. Okay, that's all the housekeeping. This week, our guest is Jay Connor. Jay is a writer. He is also the creator and co-host of the Extraordinary Negroes podcast. Jay is a super awesome guy. He's lived many lives. And this week, we talk about all the jobs Jay's had. We talk about being a writer, what it's like, who he's inspired by. And then, of course, we talk about all the books Jay loves. So listen to the show, enjoy, and remember everything we talk about this week is in the show notes, including links to that Patreon giveaway, including links to your Audible trial, including every book, every person. So it's all there for you. Click away, enjoy. All right, it's time for my conversation with Jay Connor. Hi, everybody, and welcome to The Stacks. I am here today with Jay Connor, who is a writer. You may have seen his work in Huffington Post, The Root, or XXL. He's also the creator and co-host of the Extraordinary Negroes podcast. Hi, Jay. Welcome to the show.
What's going on? We're
super excited to have you. I also have to give Jay another title before I let him introduce himself. He is the official podfather of the Stacks podcast. And you might be like, what does that mean? Basically, it means that I met Jay one day at a party, and Jay was like, nice to meet. And it's like, I have a podcast. And I said, will you help me? Because I'm not afraid to ask for help. And he said, yes. And then that's what he's been doing. And then I asked him to come on the show. So we're all really lucky that Jay's a nice guy. Besides being a nice guy and a writer and a podcaster, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a father.
Okay.
I have a son by the name of Aiden, who is 3 years old.
Oh.
I am a son myself, obviously.
Okay.
Brother, a hyper creative. I do a lot of speaking. I do a lot of panels. I do a lot of community outreach. Just really try to touch the people through my creative platforms. So
I love it.
That's what I try to do.
And where are you from?
I am from, it's funny that you asked that because every time I answer this question, people look at me crazy.
Okay.
People that know me, because I consider, like, when people ask me that question, I say I'm from Phoenix because that's where I lived at before I was out here.
Here being LA.
Here being LA.
Okay.
Because I lived in Phoenix since I was 19.
Okay.
So basically about like 10, 12 years. So.
But what about the first 19 years?
But before that.
Yeah. Go back. Take it all the way back.
I was born in the Bronx in New York.
Okay.
And then we left there when I was about 9 or 10 and then moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I consider Tulsa my hometown since that's where basically I spent my formative years.
Okay. So you've lived everywhere.
Pretty much, I just progressively worked
Moved
my way.
west.
Well, to
You'll
the
be in
west.
Hawaii soon.
Something like
Japan.
that.
We're just working all the way back
Yeah.
around. You'll be in London, and then you'll be back in the Bronx.
Just keep moving till I circumnavigate the globe, right?
Of all the places you've lived, what's a favorite? What's your favorite?
I would say Tulsa. I'm not particularly fond of heat.
Okay.
This weather outside right now is
Very hot in LA.
killing me right now. But Tulsa, that's just where I really just kind of came into my own as a person.
Okay.
That's where I have a lot of my memories, and just really grew up.
Are there a lot of black folks in Tulsa?
It's funny you mention that because
Jay's a black folk.
Just
FYI, if you didn't know, so am I.
Yeah, by the name of my show, The Extraordinary Negroes, I'm white. Nah,
what if you were? What show is that?
That would be a good show.
The white guys talking about The Extraordinary Negroes show?
That would be pretty interesting.
All right. Anyone looking for a podcast idea? For sale.
I wouldn't listen to it, but it'd be probably very interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have there's a lot of black folks out there, and it's funny because much like Phoenix, you never realize what the entire demographic of a city is until you go there to visit, because when you live there, you're around the people that you hang out with. You're around your friends, your family, whatever. When you go there to visit and you're not around them anymore and you're years removed, you're like, holy shit, where are...
Oh, you're saying when you go back.
Yeah, when I go back.
I see. I was going to say, because when I go visit a city, I feel like I only see white people because you're downtown, at the hotels or whatever.
Yeah.
But you're saying once you've lived there and then you go back to visit.
Because when I lived there, I was always around black people because we were always at church. We were always at playing basketball. I was always around. Now when I go, because obviously I don't have those same connections with friends and stuff anymore. And I'm like, where the hell is everybody at? So
where's your family?
They're scattered all over the country.
Scattered. Your mom?
My mom lives in Atlanta with my sister.
Okay.
And my dad lives in Dallas.
So when you go home, to visit family, you're not even going to anywhere that you've lived.
Not even going home.
Got it. Okay, so you're not really going home. You're just going to visit family.
I'm going there.
You're going to see them. You're going to see the family. Well, that happens.
Yeah.
You've also lived other places in the world because you had a career in the past, or a job, career or job. I don't know. Yeah. You were in the military, the U.S. military.
Yeah, I've lived an amazing life. I'm on my fourth career.
I know.
Now.
We've already talked about you being a writer and a podcaster, and now you're in the military, and we're only 4 minutes into the recording.
And I was a social worker for 8 years.
Before the military or after?
After the military.
So you're a student in school. You graduate high school. The next thing you do is military?
Yeah.
Then social work.
Yeah, then social work. What happened with the military thing was that when I was in high school, I hated school. Okay. I hated school bad. I was out there acting like a damn idiot. I was engaged in a lot of activities that I should not have been.
Okay, we won't talk about that.
That were questionable.
Okay.
That included potential lawsuits.
Okay, maybe we should talk about it.
and criminal activity. But I was just, I wasn't.
You're also a kid.
Yeah, it wasn't because I was bad. It was because I was bored. I lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Sure.
There wasn't shit else to do.
Sure.
So, long story short, I was paranoid that they weren't going to let me in the military because I had a criminal record.
Oh.
But apparently,
they don't care.
the last case I had was dismissed, so it wasn't an issue.
Got it. And what year was this?
I went in 1999.
So you went pre 9/11.
Yeah, I was pre 9/11.
Whoa.
So
that's different. I feel like most people it's provoked by 9/11. I feel like that's a story that you hear, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, I have a unique perspective because I witnessed the before and after.
Sure, talk about it.
You know what I'm saying? So when I went in, I was scared shitless because I was like, you see the movies and you're like, yo, I don't want to get shot up, whatever.
Right.
So, but I knew that after I got out the military, I did not want to go to school. I was like, I'm not doing college.
Okay.
Fuck that. It's not happening. So I was like, I'm just going to hang out and, live my life.
Right.
Do me. And I did that for a year and I was just working in Walgreens in the photo lab.
This is after
high school.
Okay, before the military.
Yeah, before the military. So I did that for a year, making $8 an hour, just being super lame.
Right.
I was the guy that was walking to and from work.
Right.
People laughing at me.
Oh.
I was just lame. You know
were
what I mean?
Early environmental conscious. You were
yes.
I'm not going to drive. I'm going to walk.
Sure.
It's positive spin on your life.
Sure. Yeah. So after a year of being just lame and seeing my friends like off in college and getting careers, and I'm like, I got to do something.
Okay.
But my biggest thing is, like I said, I hated school. So I was like, I got to find a way to skip the line.
Right.
So how can I skip them but not do the college thing? So
Right.
then my mom started talking about like, well, maybe you should do the military. And I was like, that is absolutely not happening.
I'd rather go to school.
Yeah, I would much rather do homework and pay tuition than go to college. So I ended up joining, long story short, and I scored so high on the ASVAB test, like the entrance exam, that they thought that I cheated.
Oh.
So they made me take it again, and then I scored even higher. So
Bye.
So
don't underestimate Jay.
Seriously, all those Fs I did those on purpose. So long story short, I got in the military, and I was stationed when I was in tech school. You know, you're with your friends, and they ask you where you want to go. Tech school is basically the military equivalent of college.
Okay.
But it's like
so you ended up in college.
It's like an accelerated college where they teach you your job for a period of like 3 months.
Okay.
So I'm in tech school. They ask you where you want to go, like where you want to live. And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to go to New York. I'm trying to go to Hawaii. I'm trying to go somewhere like sexy. And they're like, yeah, you're going Tucson, Arizona. And I was like, what the hell is Tucson? First, everybody knows I hate heat.
Okay.
I hate anything over like 70. I'm like, yo, this is trash.
This is a nightmare.
So I'm like, Arizona. And then all my friends are like, oh, but Tucson's a party town. They have U of A. It's so dope. You're going to love it. Yada, yada. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll be sweating, but at least I have the time of my life.
They have air conditioning.
Listen, Tucson, Arizona is the armpit of America. I have never been so miserable in my life. And I was out there for 4 years.
Okay. But so that's where you get stationed.
Yeah, that's where I was stationed.
That's where you get stationed. And what are you doing for the military?
In the military, I was what was called a 3CO, which is a computer network administrator.
So you're doing computer stuff.
So I was the Geek Squad guy that was like running like the servers and doing all like the super smart stuff. And I had a TSSCI clearance, which is like, I think it's next to the highest you can have.
So you and like Jared Kushner have the same clearance.
Something like that, yeah. So it was like up there.
One of you at least is qualified for the clearance.
Yes.
Anyways, continuing on. Where did you get stationed other places outside of Tucson? Did you get to travel at all in the military?
I did.
Where'd you go?
One day I was waking up to go to work.
Okay.
And I get a phone call and they're like, yo, don't bother coming in. And I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? Like I'm with it, but I'm kind of curious and nosy. And they're like, yo, just turn the TV on.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, okay, turn the TV on. I see smoking buildings. It was a 9/11.
Right.
So within a week, I was gone. Like, and it was crazy.
Where did you go?
I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Sorry. I'm on the edge of my seat.
You're like, oh my god, this is amazing.
This is such a good story.
So yeah, within a week of that happening, I was gone. Like, it was insane. Like, you get orders and they're just like, you got so many days to, get this, get your gear, get your gun, get this, get that, do that, bounce, peace, have a nice life. And my girlfriend at the time was like tripping out. I was tripping out because I was like, I joined to do computer work. I didn't join to go, kill people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But that was my destiny. So I was out to answer your question.
Yeah.
I was out in Saudi Arabia, Iraq, Kuwait. I was a part of Operation Enduring Freedom, so that whole Southwest.
So also very cold places. So the heat was lovely.
Oh no, it was very, very hot, especially in Saudi Arabia. Oh,
I feel like they talk about how cold it is in Iraq and Kuwait.
Nah, it was hot. It was hot.
Oh my god!
But I do remember in Kuwait, it was. I remember looking up at the sky and it was just like pitch black. Like, it looked like Armageddon, I guess, from all like the burning oil and stuff like that.
No stars.
I was just like, this is crazy.
They were covered by smoke, is what you're saying.
So yeah, it was.
Wow.
It was interesting experiences.
And did you have the same job though over there? You were running computer servers?
I did, but the irony about that is there's a distinction between doing that in the comfort of an office, air-conditioned building, and you would think, because I was Air Force, like, oh, he's, that's all the smart guys, basically. The guys that you're like, you don't want them on the front lines because that's where the grunts are at.
Got it.
So, but my problem was that, like, I was supporting like Marines and Army and those guys. So I was having to do what they were doing while doing my job.
So you're on the ground.
So I was treated like they were treated. So
Shit.
so I was like, I did not sign up for
You're
this.
like, I wanted to be in the sky, like kind of like far away.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. So you literally were like, I'm going to join the Army to like not go to college, and then you're like, I'm in the Army, and now we're at war.
Air Force.
Or I'm sorry, Armed Forces, Air Force.
Armed Forces.
Yes. And how long were you in the Air Force?
I was in the Air Force for 4 years, and then when I was about to get out, they have this thing called I think it's called stop loss, where if your job is critically manned or if they need you, they can make you stay in the military. So I was
how
about
much longer?
I don't remember the rules specifically.
So you're like, I'm done, and then they're like, sorry, we need you.
They can do that, and it was like the threat of it for a while right before I was about to get out, and I was like,
but they didn't do it.
Nah, thankfully I got out in time. Yeah.
Okay, so you get out, then you go to college, don't you? Because how do you become a social worker?
No. What happened was I got out, and the military offered me like this ridiculous, because my job was, one, critically manned, two, very important,
right, and
three, extremely lucrative as a civilian.
Oh.
So what they try to do is they try to retain you. So they offer like $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 tax free to get you to, like you're like a free agent
type thing.
Yeah, like a re-enlistment bonus. And I was like, nah, I don't want it. I'm stressed out. I don't want nothing to do with this shit. I'm out. So I get out, and then I have like the Pentagon reach out. I have Raytheon. I have General Dynamics. I have all these like huge lucrative companies offering me to do the exact same thing that I was doing in the service, but instead of making like $7 an hour in the military, they're offering me like $250 a year to start at. Because to do my job, you got to remember too, outside of my job, I had that clearance.
Right.
So that clearance on the outside costs like $80,000.
Oh.
So they're like, even if you don't know the job, if you have the clearance, they're like, we'll take you and we'll teach you the job.
Yeah.
But you have both already. So
wow.
They were offering me jobs.
So did you do it, or you were like, no?
They were offering me jobs to start at $250, and I was so stressed out. I was just like, I'm not fucking with this ever again.
Bye.
No.
Goodbye.
No.
Okay. So, here's the thing. I want to talk to you about your life so bad, and I'm so interested. But also, allegedly, this is a podcast about books.
Oh.
So
Is it?
Can you tell? We've talked about so many books so far.
I didn't know that.
So we're going to kind of fast forward.
Yeah.
How did you become... Also, if you want to bug Jay about his life, he's all over social media, and I'll put that in the show notes. You can like go harass him, and like it's fine. He doesn't care. Quoth-I. How did you discover that you were a writer, or were you always a writer throughout these other parts of your life? And then you were like, I want to, like, how did leaning into your creative side happen?
I had always been really naturally, there's people that have to like learn to be good at something, and others that are they have just a natural inclination.
Yeah, of course.
I always gravitated towards the art. So I was always great at like drawing, writing, creating music, all that stuff. Like it just naturally came to me.
Okay.
And I always just wrote my ideas, and I kind of used to play around on like MySpace, where a lot of us, the Very Smart Brothers, my co-host Alex, a lot of us fostered cultivated our talents on MySpace, on the blogs and stuff like that. So I used to go in there and write and just really just kind of express myself. And once I got into the social work thing, and I've been doing that for a while, I kind of realized like I started feeling that burnout settling in. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, yo, I do not want to be doing this anymore. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. I feel restricted by the limitations of the government, that there's things that you want to do, but you always have to worry about like budgetary constraints, or like if it's legal, or like from 9 to 5 you can be there, but at 6 o'clock, like don't have them kids calling you. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I felt it was a lot of BS. So I got kind of burned out on that, and I thought, well, what is it that I really would like to do? Since I have this thing about changing careers entirely every 4 or 5 years. Got it. Evidently.
Is this a rule or just something that you've been doing?
I don't know. But
we'll see. Okay.
I don't know, but so I decided to write. So I had been, dabbling in it professionally beforehand, but I went to a conference in Phoenix, like this big writing conference. It's at I think it's called the Piper's House, which is like where all like the journalists and professional poets and all that stuff go. And I went to there, and I was really, I won some contest to go there for free because I think it's like $600 or something. And I was really just like enamored by that process. And I was like, yo, I think this is, something that I want to do, but I can't do this literature stuff. Like, it's too draining. Like, me being a writer, I'm so meticulous about stuff. I was like, it's too draining. So I need to find a way to be that creative, but something that's more expeditious. So I took a screenwriting class at Scottsdale Community College. And I was like, oh my God, I can tell fictitious stories, and they're not so drawn out. You know what I mean? It's an entirely different format. And I was like, oh, this is dope. I'm in. So I saved up a bunch of money and made that move.
To LA?
To Koreatown.
To Koreatown.
You know, that's everybody's rite of passage when you move to LA.
I never lived there. I never lived in Koreatown. Did you do screenwriting?
Yes. And I mean, I still dabble in it. But when I moved out here, it was just such a uphill battle for everybody. I mean, writing, there's a million writers out here. There's a million actors. But I just came out here and thought, there's going to be people that work harder than I am. There's going to be people that are better writers than I am. But there's going to be nobody here that's going to work as hard as I am and write as good as I do. Sure. So I just started networking and going to every event. I was on the internet looking up like networking events and just crashing them. I was looking up at like, what the other writers and what they were being and just going. And through that, I was able to land in the writer's room over at AMC.
Cool.
For a show over there. So
what show?
Strange Angel, which is out now.
Oh.
So yeah, it took like 2 years to come out.
Wow.
But that's the process.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely still dabble in it. I'm working on some stuff right now for other people.
But what do you like? What's like the stuff that you normally your bread and butter for writing? Like, what are your like if I go and look you up and I go see your articles, are they articles? Are they short stories? Are they commentary, like op-eds? What's the kind of stuff that you generally write?
Oh, generally I write a little bit of everything. No, just to be honest, I mean, I do a lot of op-eds. I do a lot of feature writing for different publications. I write a lot of jokes for comedians.
Okay.
You're not supposed to know that though.
It's okay. Just don't tell us which comedians, and then they'll be
listening.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I ghostwrite for comedians. I ghostwrite for other writers. I do a lot of editing. I wrote for. Have you played the game Black Card Revoked?
No.
I write for them.
Okay.
So yeah, I just keep my hands on a lot.
Does
of
that mean
things.
my black card is revoked if I don't play the game?
No.
Okay.
No.
Kind of feels like.
No. You're good.
Great.
Until we play.
And then I lose.
Fail, then your black card's revoked.
Okay. Cool. So I'm never going to play that game.
Cool.
I'll be safe. So who are some writers that you love or that inspire you or that you look up to or that you want to write like or, who are your favorite
in
writers?
General terms or authors?
You could say general terms for now.
I am a big fan of Ta-Nehisi Coates.
He does both.
I'm amazed that The Atlantic let him go.
What's that about?
I don't know, but
all of us are
talking about it.
Do we know where he's going?
We have no idea.
We should plug right now. Also, next week we're talking about his book Between the World and Me.
Are we?
Did you not read it?
No. I will by that time, right?
Oops. No, we are, and it's so good. And he is. I mean, he's so good. Okay, sorry.
He's a man. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. He must have something that he's doing.
No, he's doing a lot. He's just not writing for them. He's also writing comic books and stuff now.
Right, I know that. He's doing like the Black Panther thing.
Yeah.
But he was doing that with The Atlantic. So I'm just wondering
what else?
Like why he would leave them if he doesn't have like another.
Maybe they didn't cut the check.
How could they not?
I don't know. I know he ain't cheap. I know that much.
Well, sure, but like that's like
you gotta have.
He's
him.
your LeBron. You find a way.
Yeah.
You end up with JaVale McGee also on the team, but that's fine because you have LeBron.
Because you have LeBron.
Like that's okay.
Maybe they didn't put enough money in the salary cap. They didn't. You know,
I don't know.
They didn't budget it
properly.
properly.
I do love. Do you know Van Newkirk who writes for them?
Yes.
He's really good.
Yes.
I think if you wanted to know my favorite writer of The Atlantic, I just really like him. He's good. So hopefully he'll get a bump then.
We'll see. But some other writers I like. I'm a big fan of Kiese Layman. I think he's amazing.
I don't know him.
He's super dope.
Okay.
Definitely look into him.
I'm going to put all these people in the show notes, y'all,
Please
so
do.
that you can find them and check out their work.
Yeah, the way he just deconstructs like blackness and like society is just like, man. I'm a big fan of my guy Harry Ziad. He's an amazing writer and editor. I've had the privilege of working with him, and he came on my show once.
Oh,
I mean, if we're talking about all mediums, I really like Donnie Coates, who's
Okay.
a comic book writer,
okay.
and Matthew Rosenberg. Yeah, there's just so many amazing people in different spaces that I mean, Shane Black and screenwriting. There's just so many different platforms and forums that
Cool.
people manifest in. So
I love that. Okay, let's talk a little bit about your podcast and then we'll move on to books. I swear, people, we're talking about books today. Maybe. I'm not committed to books anymore. I moved on. So you have a podcast. It's
I
called
do.
The Extraordinary Negroes.
I do.
Kind of tell us like a little, tell us about the show.
Like the elevator pitch.
I mean, I don't really want the elevator pitch, but I do want you to explain it to people who've never listened.
Okay,
If you
well.
don't have to do it fully like, this is a show for, you know, you could do it more comfortable.
Nah, it's just a show in which myself and my co-host, we kind of.
Who's your co-host?
My co-host Alex Hardy,
Thank you.
who he and I kind of go in and we deconstruct current events.
Okay.
A little bit of pop culture and just kind of relevant issues within our community. But from our perspective, we kind of give people the candy with the medicine, which is why we infuse humor. So we talk about stuff like toxic masculinity, fatherhood, financial literacy, just really meaty,
Right.
substance, topics of substance. But we try to, like I said, we try to give it kind of like a barbershop appeal where people can feel kind of relaxed, because if we tell you how to buy a car, you're going to kind of check out. But if we're cracking jokes and it's
Right.
like you're, with your folks, that, that information is going to resonate with you.
Right. It's not intimidating.
Yeah.
It's much more casual. Yeah. And you guys also definitely talk about pop culture a ton.
Yeah.
You guys do like an Insecure recap.
We did.
And you guys talk about other people making horrible mistakes in their lives.
Yeah. And that's part of the appeal of giving people the candy with the medicine. Because I went into it looking at it like people are used to a show like The Read, where people just go in there and they just talk shit about pop culture.
Right.
That's not really my thing.
Okay.
However, if I know that that's something that appeals to you and I do it my way,
Sure.
then I can give you both.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why we talk about it for a little bit, but then we talk about the real stuff.
Right.
So I kind of wanted to fashion it like a morning show, like
Got
a radio
it.
morning show.
Right. It's really good. It's funny.
Thank you.
I think it's funny. I laugh out loud sometimes. If you were going to suggest like maybe 2 episodes, like maybe your favorite episode, you guys have been doing it for some years now.
Yeah, we just hit 2 years.
So maybe like a favorite episode and maybe like a quintessential episode. Like this is the most extraordinary Negroes episode. And then the one that's like, Jay loves this one, for people who are new to your show who might want to check it out.
I think one that I really like is the Thanksgiving dinner draft.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard that one.
I have not heard that one.
What we did is, you're familiar with the concept of fantasy football.
I am. I stopped playing though because Colin Kaepernick's my hero. So I'm done with all of that.
I'm done with that. But what we did is we took Thanksgiving dinner.
Okay.
And we drafted.
The food?
We drafted
or the family members?
No, the family members are good to go.
Okay,
that's communal.
They have to come no matter what.
But we sat there and we drafted the food.
Oh.
And it was myself, my homeboy Law, who is an amazing writer himself, and Alex. And it got a lot of rave reviews, and people were cracking jokes and kind of judging our individual drafts and stuff. So I definitely think that's a great episode.
And that would be like a quintessential or one of your faves?
I would say it's a fave.
Okay, and then what's like the most extraordinary Negroes episode?
I think a recent Extraordinary Negroes episode was our Mother's Day tribute.
Okay.
Where we had the luxury of interviewing our parent. We brought our mothers on.
And you interviewed each other's mom.
Yeah, we interviewed each other's mom to kind of talk about their experience as mothers and raising us and stuff. So it was really dope. It got all kinds of wonderful reviews and feedback.
That's so sweet.
I think that was because a lot of times that stuff can be really lame.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like it can be trash.
That's what my husband says about this. He's like, "I'm never coming on your podcast because nobody wants to hear from me." I was like, "It's true. We both read the same exact book, so you're useless."
I know. I've met the guy, and I think it'd be pretty lame. No, but But yeah, I think that was a really good episode, and it really resonated with people.
Okay, I'm going to link to those episodes, but obviously just the podcast in general. But I'm excited to listen to them too. I've actually not listened to those too.
Yeah,
I didn't listen to the Mother's Day one because you told me it was really emotional, and I just haven't felt I'm not ready.
it's like This Is Us. Like you have to be emotionally.
Yeah,
prepared.
you have to like. That show kind of fell off for me. Okay, I'm sorry.
We'll talk about this later.
We can talk about this offline. What about some podcasts that you like that aren't yours and aren't the Stacks?
I really like Ear Hustle.
Okay.
I think that concept is really dope.
Mm-hmm.
I really like what my homegirls over at Tea with Queen and Jay are doing.
Okay.
As far as creating a space in which it's unapologetically Black, but not only just unapologetically Black, but unapologetically Black for Black women.
Love that.
And just really just being raw and honest and really just speaking truth. I really like Therapy for Black Girls. I think that's an amazing platform too, podcast too. She's been on our show as well. Trying to think what else do I? There's just Music Snobs. That's probably my favorite, all-time favorite podcast.
Okay.
I love it, but they do like one episode a year.
Oh.
Which is terrible.
Which is not great if you want to binge listen,
yeah,
unless they've been around for like 30 years.
Yeah. But I mean, there's a lot of great content out there right now.
I love podcasts. I've been a podcast listener for years.
I've heard.
I do. I really love I'm like a true lover of the medium. I'm not just someone who has a podcast, but I like listen to a bazillion podcasts and I love them. And I'm so glad that people listen to them.
Yeah.
Because I think it's a really cool way to discuss something in detail that is niche. You know
a podcast I would think you would love and I would recommend to you?
Which one?
There's this guy named Tony Corsizer, right?
Oh, you just mean my favorite podcast that I've been listening to for 8 years straight, 5 days a week. I'm a loyal little. I am. It's the Tony Kornheiser show. Honestly, anybody who listens to this show probably will hate it, but that's fine. I love it. And that's all that matters. Anyways, okay, we're going to move on to books. It's finally time for books. We're only 30 minutes in, and so it's a great time to move on to books.
Okay.
Jay,
yes.
What's 2 books you love and 1 book you hate?
2 books I love. I have to start with anything James Baldwin, first and foremost.
Okay.
But specifically, The Fire Next Time.
So good.
Classic. Undeniable classic. The other book that I love is A People's History of the United States.
Howard Zinn.
By Howard Zinn.
So good.
Just to see that the perspective of America's ascension through the eyes of the have-nots. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just powerful.
Such an amazing book. There's actually like a series of books, the People's Histories of, that is like part of, I don't know who did it. I think it's like the Howard Zinn Foundation, but it's other authors who are experts in like smaller marginalized fields.
Oh, wow.
Or smaller, Dave Zirin is this amazing sports writer, and he writes the People's History of Sports, and he talks about like athletes, like uprising and protests and all this, but it's under that same scope of like looking at marginalized people's view of things. So it's like Muhammad Ali, it's Tommy Jones and Carlos.
Talking about the
yes, the Black Panthers back power salute.
I can't remember his last name.
Oh my god, this is
Dr. Carlos.
Oh my god, this is like the biggest brain fart because I love him so much, and he's like still around, and he's so great. Yeah. Tommy Smith, and oh my god, I have to look it up. I have to look it up right now. Okay, talk about the book you hate. I'm going to scream it into the microphone as soon as I figure it out.
The book I hate, which I feel like this is like a universally.
I'm sorry, I've got it. Tommy Smith and John Carlos.
John Carlos.
Motherfucker. I'm so sorry. I feel so dumb because I love them.
Have you met him? John Carlos is so cool.
He works at San Jose State, I think.
He's so cool.
One of them does. I'm from the Bay. Anyways.
He's amazing.
Dave Zirin, this writer, he also wrote this book called Welcome to the Terror Dome, and it's all about sports.
Yeah.
And I love it so much. And it's a really good he's a really good nonfiction writer. He actually has a book on John Carlos's life. They're like pals, and he has a book on he has a lot of books, and he's really great at book about soccer. I love him, Dave Zirin. He also sometimes writes for like different publications, mostly The Nation.
Okay.
And he's often like the talking head on like CNN when it's like Colin Kaepernick does something or like FIFA does something. They're like, oh, Dave Zirin. Yeah. He's great.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay, sorry. 1 book you hate.
1 book I hate. There was a book I read a long time ago, and I thought it was trash when I read it, and I still think it's trash. And it's probably one of the few books I remember thinking it was trash. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
Okay, you're the second person to put that as the book you hate on this show.
I book.
Why do you hate it?
I just felt like it was just manufactured, just trash. You know what I mean? Like it just felt like something like it felt like a meme, like a book equivalent of a meme. You know how you see that like fast food advice column type shit? Like that's how I remember it being. Like no.
This is Ross said the same thing. That was his book.
Yeah, I can't get with that book.
Okay, what's the last great book you read?
The last great book I read was Every Little Step, My Story by Bobby Brown. His memoir. Did you ever read that?
I did not read it, but people love it. It's so good.
With the cocaine chicken?
I didn't read it. Is it so good?
It's so great because we see he has this, this extravagant, fantastical life that we've always bear witness to. But to know like there's other levels to it to what makes it even more crazy. Like it's a trip.
Oh my gosh. Did you see the new Whitney documentary?
I wanted to, but
I saw it.
It was too far for me to feel like driving.
I saw it.
Was it good?
He's in it.
Was it good?
I liked it. I mean, I really liked it. I cried. Yeah. I mean, I didn't cry, but I felt like crying, which is something that I do a lot. Like when I say that I cry when I read a book, I don't ever actually cry except for once. I usually just feel like crying and I'm like, acknowledge feeling like crying, moving on. But there's some really great footage of her singing and like some great footage of her behind the scenes. And then some of it is kind of like, it's interesting that you're drawing these conclusions. Like they put things together towards the end of the movie that make it sound like this thing caused this thing, but it's not necessarily clear that this thing caused this thing. And obviously she's not there to defend or clarify. Yeah. And so some of that makes me feel weird.
Kind of jump into conclusions.
It just feels, it's hard to know who to trust because I know a lot of the people like in the family and like people on the side of the family helped produce the movie. So then you start to be like, well, who,
ulterior motives.
Exactly. But Bobby's in it.
I wanted to see it, but all the theaters I saw that it was at was on the west side because it's like a limited theater run.
It's at ArcLight in Hollywood, or that's where I saw it.
Oh, that's not too far.
No, you're close right now. Okay. What are you currently reading?
Currently chipping away at A Conspiracy of Stars by Olivia A. Cole, one of my dearest friends.
All right. What's it about?
It is about a young lady who's kind of having this, like, it's the sci-fi adventure. Okay. And one of the things that I really appreciate and love about it is the fact that it's heavily diverse. And Olivia, who is a white woman, one of my few white friends, actually, she is so committed to like diversity and proper representation through this medium. And I think that there might be people that find that kind of like questionable to have like, why is this lady always, but like she genuinely has like the best intentions, and
that's
she's
great.
An amazing writer, and she's been doing this for a while, and she's one of my dearest friends.
Okay.
And I nag her like almost every day.
Great.
So shout out to Olivia.
I love her already. Yeah. How do you pick your next book? Like, do you use reviews or do you get word of mouth, or are you just on the blogs?
Primarily, how I choose my next book is when people email me and ask me to read their book for the show.
Oh.
I'm not going to lie. Like, generally, as you are well aware, you'll have PR firms reach out and be like, hey, we got this new thing. We'd love you to check it out. Sometimes it sounds interesting. Sometimes it doesn't. I usually try to read the ones that sound interesting. But outside of that, generally friends' suggestions, or if I see something on social media where people are like buzzing about it. So
okay,
those are the ways.
Do you ever feel like you're reading books that someone sends you? Like, do you always finish those books, or are you sometimes like, I don't like this, I gotta go?
If it's whack, I can't.
Okay,
I can't do it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when books get sent to you. Like, I feel like if I really like a book or I'm interested in a book, I'll read it. But if something gets sent to me, it's a lot harder for me to power through because I'm like, I don't even really want to be reading this. And then sometimes someone sends me a book and I read it and I'm like, this is so great. Like, send me everything they've ever written. But it's easier to put down a book that someone else asked you to read than it is a book that I feel like I pick up on my own. Yeah,
no, I agree. But also a lot of ones that people send to us tend to kind of have like a similar theme. Blackness or like, struggle or social injustice. So I'm always intrigued by that kind of stuff. And especially like the most recent book, I think you said you got sent to you. It's basically
All the Women in My Family Sing.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one sounds amazing, and I've been working my way through that too.
Yeah, I gotta do it. I haven't done it. I have a hard time when it's essays because I'm like, oh, I'll just read one at a time. Yeah. But I don't like to read like that. Yeah, so then I read one and then I'm like, oh, so I have to just sit down and just read it cover to cover. Yeah. I like to read things like that.
So if they're listening, I'm gonna get to it.
Shout out. We both are. We both are. What's on your nightstand?
What is on my nightstand currently is Francesca Ramsey's Well, That Escalated Quickly.
Oh, people love that.
People love
I've
that.
actually heard people love that and do not like that. I've heard it's very polarizing.
I can believe that. See, for me,
I think people either relate or they don't.
Yeah. Because, like, for me, that's one of the books that got sent to us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, her people reached out and were like, hey, we got this book.
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded interesting. And it's somebody who I would never particularly call myself like a fan of hers. Not like on some hate, but I just don't really know her like that.
Totally.
So it gave me an opportunity to kind of like figure out who she was and kind of understand her story. And it's pretty, I feel like it's a good book.
Okay, cool. I love to hear that.
I can see how
you can see how it would be polarizing. Yeah.
And also, I can't date Jesus.
Oh.
I said Jesus.
I could date Jesus. I love Jesus and Marrow. Both of them.
I would say Michael's last name, but I don't want to butcher it. I think it's Arsenault.
Oh, I thought it was Arsenault.
It might be. I think it is Arsenault.
That's what I was saying. It's a New York Times bestseller already. Which is exciting.
We were just talking about this like 2 days ago.
Yeah, I think that's when the list came out. I feel like I saw it everywhere.
Yeah, so
I'm excited to read that book.
So
I know he talks a lot about Beyonce in it, so I like that.
Yeah.
What's a book that you love to recommend to people?
Generally anything from James Baldwin.
Yeah.
I really like to recommend to people, Black, White, or Indifferent. Just because I have such a tremendous appreciation and respect for how he analyzes and deconstructs the world, and in being unapologetic in doing that. But as far as a contemporary alternative to that, I love to recommend people read Between the World and Me.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. Well, I think a lot of people compare them often.
Yeah.
A lot. Do you know the author Jesmyn Ward? She wrote the book Sing Unburied Sing, and then she wrote the book we did on our 4th episode called Men We Reaped. It's her memoir. She's a Southern, she's from Mississippi. She's a Southern woman, Black woman. And I think, she also writes a lot of, op-eds or features or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that she is in that same vein.
Yeah.
But because she writes a lot of fiction, which James Baldwin did as well.
Yeah.
I think that people don't think of her as like a social political critic of Black American experience, but I think she is. She's a beautiful writer. I'm gonna get you Men We Reaped. It's really good.
People make the same argument about Toni Morrison too, though.
Yeah. Yeah, people do. It's interesting that women often aren't considered, like Black women aren't considered in that same breath with the two of them, but I feel like there are women who do that. And for me, Jesmyn Ward is in that same, where she's critiquing and dissecting what it means to be Black in America, which is what I think that they both do so well. Anyways, I'm going to get you Men We Reaped. I think you'll really like it.
Okay.
Oh, have you read If Beale Street Could Talk? Whatever, it's coming out. It's coming out as a movie.
I got to read that before it comes out.
I just got it. I got to read it too. Shout out to Diverse Book Club. They're on Instagram and they're doing that for their August book. So super excited. Let's see. What's a good book that someone's recommended to you?
A good book that somebody recommended to me long ago and far away was The Writer Got Screwed. I don't remember the name of the author.
That's fine. I'll find it.
But the premise of the book is it basically offers like sample contracts and gives you information on like entertainment law and entertainment lawyers and things of that nature so that you don't get screwed over as a writer within the entertainment industry. So as somebody who had moved out there in 2014 and knew nothing about nothing, I was like, oh my God, this is like the Bible.
This is what I need. What's a good book you received as a gift?
Ta-Nehisi Coates. That was probably the best book that I've received as a gift.
Someone gave that to you.
Yeah, somebody gave that to me.
It's a good one. Do you set any reading goals for yourself?
I try to.
You do?
I don't really have the time that I had in the past. When I think about my time in Phoenix, I had all the disposable time in the world.
And you didn't use it.
And then you move to LA and it's like you don't have 24 hours anymore in a day. You have like 5.
Right.
So I try to read at least a book a month.
Okay.
But now that I've, I guess I can tell the audience because we were talking about this earlier. I've recently, as of like today, came across the audiobook phenomenon. Yeah. So now I can read like 8. You know what I'm saying?
It's really helpful. Valentine's Day is upon us, and I've got love on the brain. Love for books. Duh, of course. Hello. Did you forget what podcast you're listening to? I love bringing you all great reads, exclusive author interviews, and behind the scenes book gossip. But I can only do that with your support over on Patreon and Substack. Our Stacks Patreon community, also known as the Stacks Pack, is where you can go for book club meetups, a private, very active Discord, and a year-long mega reading challenge to help you achieve all your reading goals. Plus, you also get that monthly bonus episode. Now, over on the Substack, you can subscribe to my newsletter, Unstacked, where I keep the book conversations going. I also give you a healthy dose of sports and pop culture, definitely some hot takes happening over there. And again, that bonus episode. If you don't have a few dollars to spare, don't worry. There are free options on the Substack and the Patreon to get you a little extra Stacks magic. Making this podcast is a total team effort, and by supporting my Patreon and my Substack, you allow me to support my amazing team that makes the show possible every single week. So if you or your friends are looking to meet other book lovers and support this indie podcast, come hang out with me on Patreon, Substack, or both. I would love to have you. And since we're talking about love, you can gift subscriptions to the Patreon and the Substack for that special reader in your life. For the Stacks Pack, head to patreon.com/thestacks. And for the newsletter, head to tracythomas.substack.com. And also, there are links to both in the show notes. Okay, see you in the Stacks. Are there things that you wish were different about your reading life besides reading more?
Definitely wish I could read more. I definitely wish that I was more adventurous in the type of books that I chose.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times people get in their comfort zones.
Yeah.
And they just kind of feel like, okay, well, let me stick to these genres or these authors and not really venture outside of that.
And if you're not reading a ton, you don't want to waste your time reading something that you're not sure you're going to like. I think that's what happens with me. It's like, oh, am I going to like this romance? Like, I don't know. I know I'm going to like this nonfiction book.
Yeah.
Like, I know this book that is what I'm interested in, I'm going to like, versus it's going to take me twice as long to read. I think that also can be part of it.
It's a lot like when you go to a restaurant.
Sure.
You think about like, oh man, I can go to, wherever, get me some crab legs.
Right.
But then I might think about going to this other spot. And if it's trash, then I could have had my crab legs.
And I'm not even satisfied. And I paid my, totally. It's the same thing. It's like prioritizing your time.
For real.
Are there any genres in particular that you love or don't so much?
I love memoirs. I love collections of essays.
Okay.
I love self-help books a lot. And I really, really, really love biographies and autobiographies.
Okay.
I love those. I love to kind of learn how people became who they are.
So you're a nonfiction person.
Definitely.
Me too.
Do not fuck with fiction at all.
Fiction's very hard for me. I'm trying. It's hard.
Yeah.
I like nonfiction. I love nonfiction.
Cannot do fiction.
Yeah, it's harder for me. I have to, but it's harder. How do you read? I mean, we just heard that you do now listen to audiobooks, but how do you normally read? On an e-reader or an actual book?
I tried to join the e-reader revolution, but it just seemed weird to me. So I'm an old school bookhead.
I tried to start a movement called Books Bitch, but I don't know, it didn't really work.
Books Bitch?
Yeah, my sister-in-law was going to help me design a graphic to be really cool, but we never did it because it kind of didn't make sense, because it was more just like, I don't have an e-reader. Like, this was like 10 years ago or like 8 years ago. I was like, I don't have a reader. I read books, bitch. But it didn't really.
If I would have known about it, I would have been reading books, bitch, too. You know
I feel like
Books
Bitch is funny, but it kind of just like, I don't know. It didn't really have a mission. It just was like something to say to people.
It sounds cool.
Yeah, it was just like our thing.
It's a flag.
Anyways, it didn't work. But here we are now at the Stacks. Maybe we could have a pin that says the Stacks. Books, bitch.
Stacks, bitch.
Yeah, that's going to be our new tagline. Where do you, like, when you're reading, what's your ideal setup? Location, time of day? Do you have some food or drink? Or like, what's your like Jay's perfect reading?
I'm not a late night reader.
Okay, because you fall asleep.
I would fall asleep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
It has to be like the middle of the day.
Okay.
It has to be quiet.
No music.
I can listen to music, but it can't have words.
Okay.
And the music has to be like jazz or something that's kind of like ambient.
Okay.
Something mellow. That's really the only way that I can.
But is it like, are you at home? Are you outside? Are you at the beach? Are you at the pool? Are you on an airplane?
I can only read it at the house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can't be out somewhere because then I'm going to want to do it. Like if I'm at the beach, I'm going to want to enjoy the beach.
Oh, see, that's how I enjoy the beach.
See, no.
I'm only a beach reader.
I'm reading bikinis when I'm at the beach.
All right, let's not get in trouble here. What's a book where you feel like you've learned a lot?
A book that I felt like I learned a lot was The Anatomy of Story by John Truby, which is a book about writing, about how to create a story, what makes a story, what it is, the different elements of it, like how to really just be a dope ass writer. So that was definitely a book that I learned a lot. But a series that I learned a lot, and I hope that people are listening, there's a series of books called How Done It, because a lot of times people wonder, like, how do writers know how to do, like, write for, like, ER, or how to write for, like, this. So this book series, How Done It, like, they break down, like, police procedures and, like, medical jargon and, like poisons and, like, what it looks like when you kill somebody and the different terminology.
But is this just good for writers, or is this
just for writers?
Okay, so okay. So if you're not a writer, ignore him.
It's completely useless, but it makes you sound like you know what you're talking about whenever you're writing.
Who done it?
Who done it?
That's so
actually, I think it's How Done It.
How done? I'll add it in the show notes.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So it gives you basically, like, because you're obviously not an expert on brain surgery if you're a television writer.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Nope.
But when you get How Done It or Who Done It,
you sound like you know what the hell you're doing.
Wow, this is amazing.
Because a lot of times when you're on a network, you can afford a consultant.
Sure.
You're writing a spec, or you can't afford a consultant. You got to sound like you know what the hell you're talking about.
Got it. That's just, and so each book is like a different.
Yeah.
Got it. Topic. Okay, we're switching it up totally. We're taking it all the way back to your Tulsa and or Bronx days.
Yes.
What's a favorite book from your childhood?
I don't have a specific one. I have a series.
Go ahead.
Do you remember the Choose Your Own Adventure series?
No.
You don't?
Nope.
Those were the.
You were so hoping I was going to be like, yeah.
Those were the greatest books ever.
No.
What you did was you got the book and then you'd read it and then it would like have like a cliffhanger and it'd be like, okay, you'd be like, you're walking down the street. All of a sudden, a man walks up and he points a gun at your face.
Cool.
What do?
Close the book. Go to bed.
But it's like, if you fight him off, you go to page 5. If you run, you go to page 7.
Cool.
So you pick your adventure, and then just at each different page, it spirals off into other things.
That's cool.
Those books were the shit.
And there was a bunch of different ones.
Yeah, there was all kind. There was a whole series of them.
Wow,
they were amazing.
Cool. There's an adult book that's like that. I don't know what it's called. Ross was telling me about it on his episode.
Oh, really?
Where it's like 5 different versions of like the same story, and you can read it like different ways. Like it, like do you move? I'll try to find the name of it. I'll send it to you, but I'll also put it in the show notes.
That sounds like the same thing.
What's a book, if you were a teacher, that you would assign in high school to your students?
A book I would assign. I don't remember the author, but it would be Lies My Teacher Told Me.
Oh yeah. I haven't read that yet. It came out recently.
No, that's been out for a while.
Then maybe there's a new like a new edition or something.
It might be.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it a lot recently. Or maybe they just like paperbacked it or something.
Because I think one of the biggest, I can't think of the word because my brain is fried, but one of the biggest challenges that teenagers face is that they're not told to be inquisitive.
Right, or like to push back.
Yeah, you're not supposed to challenge authority or tradition ever. And I'm a big proponent of that because it's okay to ask. Just because something is presented to you, you shouldn't take it at face value.
Right.
And that's the same thing that, I definitely want to, as my son gets older, that I want to, tell him to do.
Right.
Like ask questions,
sure.
Whether it comes from me or anybody else. Like if you don't believe it, and it doesn't feel right in your system, in your soul, ask questions.
Totally.
Challenge the status quo.
Well, I have 2 things. So one thing is that's something that Ashley and I were talking about last week about like curriculum in school.
Yeah.
Is that when your teacher tells you like these are the books we're reading, automatically as a student you think, oh, this book is important or meaningful or a classic, or this book is elevated in some way because it's been chosen by my teacher who is elevated in my eyes. And that's how it ends up, that like something like The Great Gatsby becomes this all important book because you're like told it's a great book, but no one is like, oh, you should read Giovanni's Room, right? Like it's like kids aren't being told like this is the book we're reading and this is just one of 30 books that deal with this topic. And like, it's like there's no outlet for kids to understand that like your teacher is a flawed human and they're picking these books because of their tastes and their experiences.
Or even the curriculum is flawed.
Right. And all of it, just like this, we were talking about like Joy Luck Club. Like that's like the Asian book everyone read when I was in high school. It was like Joy Luck Club. But it's like there are other books by other people who are other forms of Asian besides just Chinese, right? Like why weren't we reading books about and by Indian authors, right? Like
Yeah.
those people are also Asian, but like we have this, our teachers in California have this idea that Asian is like, you know, China or Japan. And it's like, they're not talking about like, you know, Thai people or wherever, like Bali or any sort of author, Korean. It's just really interesting. And I feel like that kind of goes along with what you're saying is like, we're not told to question.
At all.
So we end up with like an agreed upon set of good and bad books or authors or whatever. And I hate that.
And that informs your worldview
Right.
and your ideologies.
Right.
And in turn, you feel like we're indoctrinated, basically.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And like authors, like someone like James Baldwin, I didn't even read him for the first time until I was like 30.
Yeah.
And it's because I didn't realize that he was a classic author. Like
Yeah.
no one had told me that this person was these were classics.
And they don't want you reading that in school.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Right, sure. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, you can read certain things, but you can't read other things, even though I could really illustrate this point better if you
Yeah.
just read like, you
Yeah.
know, whatever.
I mean, I think it basically comes down to, you know, if parents aren't doing it themselves, if they're not, you know,
Right.
heavily literate as far as books go, the only time you really come into that is in college.
Right.
That's when you know, things kind of brighten up and widen up. And
But even then it's hard because you have so much work and it's hard
Yeah.
to add another book when you have to read a textbook and do that. Like I didn't
Yeah.
really start reading to learn until I was out of college.
yeah.
And by learn, I mean learn about like who I am and the world and
yeah.
all that kind of stuff. But the other thing, this is more on a silly note about it. Have you ever heard the phrase Wagner?
No.
Okay, so this is what teachers do a lot, I've discovered. Not all teachers, but some teachers, and also just humans in general. A Wagner is a wild ass guess, not easily refuted.
Wow, I've never heard that one before.
Yeah, a friend of my like my dear friend brother Matt told us this story. He was like in a marketing or something class, and his teacher was telling them about a Wagner, and it's a wild ass guess, not easily refuted. But I feel like that happens a lot in school. Like a kid will ask a question, the teacher is like, "Yeah, definitely, it's dogs," and it's like, okay, well, oh. Like,
All right.
I don't know to question that.
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
happens a lot also in school. But so a lot of times when people like my brother will say something, I'll be like, that's a definite Wagner, my guy. Nice try.
Yeah.
But I bet that book is full of Wagners.
Yeah.
Probably. What about a favorite book character or a least favorite character from a book?
I have a least and I have a memorable, but
Okay.
I wouldn't necessarily say favorite.
That's fine.
When I think of memorable characters, a character that's always haunted me, and just when I first learned of her, like it just really resonated with me, was Cola from The Bluest Eye.
I've never read it.
What?
See, these are the books that I wish that I read in school that now I'm having to read now.
You have to read that.
I know, people
just,
love it.
But just the way she navigated and, you know, processed through dealing with like insecurities around like colorism and racism, and how she equated white features to like superiority.
Mm-hmm.
It just really just touched me, because it's just like there's so much internalized racism
Mm-hmm.
that we don't really come to accept and acknowledge, because, you know, through school, through the books we read, through all these things, we're constantly told what's right,
Mm-hmm.
and we're othered in the process, and we don't really realize it's wrong until like we see what's right with
Right.
something that we identify with, and we're like, wait a minute, why is, you know what I'm saying? And her
Right.
story always resonated with me. And as far as my least favorite would be Charlie Breedlove from the book, who was the person who was terrorizing her throughout the book.
okay.
So definitely please read that.
I want to.
I'm gonna have to buy that for you.
I know. I used to own it, and I think it's in Oakland somewhere. My mom's house.
Uh,
I don't. It's
Shout out
not
there.
here. Yeah. Do you have favorite authors?
Favorite authors? Definitely James Baldwin.
Right.
Definitely Ta-Nehisi Coates. Definitely Kiyosei. A lot of screenwriting stuff, like, you know, Robert McKee. I think I named one of them earlier, John Truby. Just, you know, writing related stuff. Just
Mhm.
really processing, like learning and things. Of
But
that
not
nature.
Toni Morrison, even though you brought her up a few times.
I think she's great, but I think I've only read like 2 of her books.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know she's
Right.
Tony.
Sure.
Yeah, you
It's
know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Yeah. I've not read. I don't think I've ever read any of her stuff.
Really?
I know.
Why?
It's not.
Or
it's
how?
Just, I just don't think I've gotten there. Like I read my first Octavia Butler this year. Like I'm just getting there. I'm just
fiction.
working through. It's fiction. That's the
Fiction.
other thing. It's harder for me.
I'm the same way with music. Like, far as just digging in the past and bothering with what's out now.
Yeah. It also just takes time to read a book, and it's like you have to make, I'm trying to make the time to read the books, but one at a time. So
it's a commitment.
Yeah, it's a commitment. But I think I'm going to start with Beloved for Toni Morrison. I still have to read Zora Neale Hurston. I've read Barracoon that just came out this year, but I haven't read Their Eyes Are Watching God. I just have a lot of work to do. I'm a work in progress.
Do you read any Roxane Gay?
I've never read Roxane Gay, but I'm going to listen to Hunger on Audible.
You should definitely check her out.
I'm going to. I love her reviews and her, I've read her articles. I've just never, and I've read her tweets.
She's amazing.
Shout out Roxane Gay. Okay, we're going to wrap it up soon. We got just a few more questions.
Okay.
Favorite book that's been turned into a movie or a TV show, or something that you've ever seen that was better than the book?
I don't read a lot of fiction.
Okay.
So I think for me, a good example of something that was transformed into a film, although it was a documentary, I would say I'm Not Your Negro by James
good.
Baldwin.
I was going to ask you earlier if you read it. Loved it.
Because it felt like, if you're familiar with Baldwin's work, it felt like a 101, which is fine because a lot of people aren't. So it was like a good introduction into who he was.
Right.
And how important he was, and kind of the circles he was a part of, the social circles he moved in. So I loved I Am Your Negro. I thought it was amazing.
I loved it. It's too bad it came out in a year with so many good documentaries, because it was up against the 13th and the OJ.
Yeah.
It was
it was a wrap.
All three of those could have won best documentary in any other year.
Yeah.
And they were all great for what they did, and they all did it different. And so good.
That's another good book. Michelle Alexander's The New Jim Crow.
The New Jim Crow.
Woo!
A great book.
Hit her up about coming on our show. She's tough to get, man.
I'm sure. She's like a genius.
She's busy. No, she was like, I'd love to do it, but schedule. And I've tried 3 times.
Well, get her on.
I'm going to make it happen.
Make it happen. We want to hear from her. Love her. What's a book that you've read that you would like to see turned into a movie?
I would like to see my friend Olivia A. Cole's book series, the quote-unquote Tasha trilogy.
Got it.
On the screen. I actually gave it to AMC development executives in hopes that it would come into fruition. So my
fingers crossed.
Fingers are crossed.
Let's do it. We like her because she's the white lady who loves diversity in a real way.
We love white woke folks.
We do. White folks. Some of us are married to them. Okay, here it is. My fave. If you could require the current president of the United States to read one book, what would it be? My pick for the book that I would have 45 read would be The Invention of the White Race by Theodore W. Allen. That way he could have a better perspective of how privilege works and how it also creates consequences for other marginalized groups. Sure.
Which is something that he basically lives every day of his life.
Right. It's his existence. All right. Do you have anything else you want to say to the people about you, books, writing, podcasting, life? I
would just say that just keep reading, folks. If you got time to hit these books, definitely make it happen. I know a lot of people, they're out here doing it, moving, and they're in the cars, get your audio book or whatever, but definitely appreciate you inviting me onto the show and being a part of this. I'm so excited to hear. This was so fun. This was so fun. So next week, Jay and I are going to talk about Ta-Nehisi Coates' book, Between the World and Me. Hey!
If you haven't read it yet, it's only 150 pages, so you could probably read it in a few days if you made some time. A week is definitely time if you can make it. If not, you can listen to it on Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/thestacks, and he narrates it.
Yeah.
Which you guys know is my favorite kind of audiobook. So check that book out. We'll be back next week to talk about it. Everything we talked about today will be in the show notes. All of Jay's social and all that will also be in the show notes, and I will link to some episodes of his podcast as well. So everything you need is there for you. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see y'all in the stacks. That does it for us this week on The Stacks. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you to Jay Connor for being our guest this week. Jay will be back next week to discuss Ta-Nehisi Coates' book, Between the World and Me. Don't forget, we are still doing our Patreon giveaway. It goes until August 16th. Go to patreon.com/thestacks, contribute whatever you can, and be entered to win one of 3 The Stacks totes. We're grateful for anything you can contribute and appreciate all the help and support from our listeners. Please make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you get your podcasts. And if you're listening through Apple Podcasts, please rate and review the show. Our theme music comes from Tegirigis. Robin McCrite is our graphic designer, and this show was created and produced by me, Tracy Thomas.